In my last video, I ranked the employability of every Garden Warfare 2 character, but while ranking them, there was one thing I failed to consider. There's a chance that some of these fellas won't want to work, and you know what we have to do to the lazy ones. Which is why I'm going to be ranking every character class based on how edible they are, cause if they're not going to be useful by working, then we'll make them useful in another way. So with all that said, let's get right into this. Okay, first of all, we're going to put every zombie in F tier because I'm not eating a zombie. This would basically be the equivalent to cannibalism, but worse, cause it's a zombie. And I know for a fact that you wouldn't want to eat a zombie, or at least I hope not. Alright, moving on to the real list, we have Citron, who is a giant orange. Now, there's a couple different ways you could eat oranges, but one of the most popular ways is to turn them into orange juice. And considering how big he is, you could definitely squeeze a lot of juice out of this guy. Or you could just eat him normally. Either way, he would be able to feed a lot of mouths because of his size, and as a bonus, you could use his peels as compost. S tier. Next up is Rose. I looked up if roses are edible, and they are, so that saves her from going in F tier. But just because something is edible doesn't mean it'll taste good. And I have evidence to back this up, because I put a flower in my mouth once, and honestly, it didn't taste that bad, but still, you're not going to see someone casually eating a rose very often. D tier. Something that is eaten very often, though, is corn, which brings us to Colonel Corn. Although he can produce infinite corn, this is only when he reloads, and he needs to be alive to reload, which he won't be. This leaves us with the corn on his head, his hands, and on his back, which is still a good amount of food. No offense, but look at how big his head is. That thing could feed an entire family for days. On top of that, his corn husk can be used for tamales, and I'm Mexican, I love tamales, so easy S tier. Pea Shooter is another character that can produce infinite food when he reloads, but he needs to be alive to do that, so that possibility is ruled out. Unlike Colonel Corn though, his body isn't mostly made of food. The only edible thing I see from him are the peas on his arms. I guess we can't be completely sure if his head is edible or not, but I'm not gonna take my chances. He's also got leaves on him, but tell me what type of weirdo is gonna want to munch on a leaf. Plus, those leaves are his feet. They would probably not taste good. Although he doesn't have a lot to offer, he still does have a clear edible part of him, so I'll be placing him in C tier. After that, we've got Chomper, and no, I'm not eating that. I refuse to let that thing near my plate. Unless I'm getting financially compensated, then it's a different story. But there's just no part of him that looks good to eat. And I know I'm just judging based off looks. I mean, for all I know, a Chomper could taste amazing, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. He's going in the F tier. Okay, moving on, we've got Sunflower. I looked it up, and sunflowers are edible, which saves her from going in F tier, but she's also got another trick up her sleeve. You see, unlike Rose, Sunflower produces sunflower seeds. And after a quick search, I found that a single sunflower can produce around 1,000 seeds, damn. After some more research, I found that around 400 sunflower seeds would equate to 16 ounces. This will be important, stay with me. If we divide 1,000 by 400, you'll see that 1,000 sunflower seeds would fill up 2.5 16-ounce bags. To help you visualize that, here's a picture of a 16-ounce bag. I think for the amount of food Sunflower produces, she deserves to go in the B tier. Next up, there's Cactus. In case you didn't know, there are parts of cacti that are edible, those being the pads and fruit. Fun fact, when I was looking this up, I found that there's an entire subreddit dedicated to cactus. This has nothing to do with the ranking, I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was cool. Anyways, from the looks of it, Cactus doesn't seem to have any fruit on her, so what we're left with are the pads on her arms. So she doesn't bring a lot of food to the table, but I believe Cactus brings enough to warrant her a B tier. Finally, we have Torchwood. He's a tree. Since he's entirely made of wood, he's completely inedible, which automatically puts him in the F tier. But I'd like to highlight some things about him before we move on. He's entirely made of wood, and you know what wood could be used for? Starting fires. And you know what fire could be used for? Cooking food. So even though Torchwood doesn't directly provide anything edible, he provides a tool to help make other foods edible. This doesn't change his ranking at all, I just wanted to show that he wouldn't be completely useless. F tier. Alright, that's the end of my list. I won't lie, this kind of was just a filler video because I'm currently working on another one that I think is going to be really good. But until then, you'll just have to stay tuned. You might as well subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss it. I'm just saying, you should consider it. Real quick, I'd like to give a shout out to this commenter for giving me the idea for this video, so big thank you to them. Anyways, that's all I gotta say, so I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya!